Hello everyone, welcome to the TSS. In the last class, we dealt with the Django introduction, friends. In this class, we will study about why to use Django web framework when there are so many numerous frameworks out there. Okay, we will see some of the specialties of Django. So Django is ridiculously fast, friends. So Django web framework was designed to help developers take applications from concept to completion as quickly as possible. So in any web development project, some clients will give his requirement. Then so that requirement is the concept, friends. So that concept to reality or a website, live website, there are so many stages involved in between. So we need to gather some requirements, site designs, content, everything, web page layout, then backend database. So many requirements are there from concept to completion, right? So in these stages, a framework will play a very vital role. So if framework itself is very tough to manage, okay, so the purpose of the framework is to ease the things, ease the development things, right? So if that is the case, if the framework itself is very clumsy, cumbersome, and so much boilerplate code, okay, so a boilerplate code means some extra code. Okay, so much of code for doing some specific task, some simple specific task. To achieve some simple specific task, we need so much of code. That is called boilerplate code. Generally Java is having much of boilerplate code, friends. Okay, to achieve some simple even for simple print statement, we need to do it in inside the class like that. But so it is the whole history of Java, but now Java is having its new versions 9, 10, 11 and 13 also is coming. Maybe that is an aside topic, but so generally the boilerplate code is and some extra code of lines to achieve some task. So if the web framework itself is very clumsy, then how we can take our project from concept to the completion? So instead of dealing with the core concepts, the managing part will be more. Okay, so the main work is something, and to achieve that main work, some sub works are there. So we need to concentrate more on those environments. So in case of Django, it's very easy, and this web framework allows developers to develop, and this is framework allows developers to concentrate on the core ideas and let the developers implement their own ideas very fastly. So without thinking about the extras or without taking much care of the environment, I mean environments. Okay, so and then the website is also works as fast as when compared to the other framework, friends. So Django flexibility is like that, and it's very fast. And then the moving forward, the second, it's fully loaded. When we come to this fully loaded topic, in the first class itself we had discussed this item with the battery included philosophy. So the same concept here also. Django includes dozens of extras you can use to handle common web development tasks. Django takes care of user authentication, content management and administration, site maps, RSS feeds, and many more tasks right out of the box, friends. So that means, so this web framework comes with fully packed. Okay, so in that pack, so many things are available to the developer, right from user authentication systems, okay, and content administration, database tasks. So all these common things are very much available and packed together. By packed together, the Django web frameworks comes, so that developer doesn't need to concentrate all those things. He just concentrate on his concept and develop the web page and backend part. That's it. Next, reassuringly secure. So Django security is very high, friends. So how much high is, if you know that so many high security professional government official websites are designed in Django, means you can think of how much secure the Django provides. So the best example is NASA itself. Okay, so American Astrology Center, NASA itself is using Django website, means you can think how much security it provides. Okay, so Django takes security seriously and help developers avoid many common security mistakes such as SQL injection, cross-site scripting, cross-site request forgery, and click jacking. So its user authentication system provides a secure way to manage user accounts and passwords. So these are all some technical terms, friends. When it comes to website security, the common attack is SQL injection, friends. That means while authentication, while giving username and password, if the user provides the SQL injection, like giving some JavaScript code or some characters in the username password boxes, then by bypassing the username password authentication system, he can log in into the site and he will do whatever he want. Okay, that much of attacks are there. So but Django will not allow this type of attacks. Okay, it avoids all these attacks and it will take care of all the securities, right? So this is very secure way of doing the things in this web framework, friends. And then exceedingly scalable. Why we need to use web framework? We are seeing the topic. Why we use Django web framework means it's ridiculously fast. That is point number one. The point number two, the reason is it's fully loaded. It will come it will come with all the needed packages, and then it is secure. The third reason why we are using Django, why we are choosing Django means these are the points. Okay, we are studying these points step by step. So these are the reasons one may go for choosing Django framework over others. And there are other frameworks also that are providing all these steps. Okay, so listen, friends, there is always having pros and cons for any programming language or any database or any web framework. So it has its own pros and cons and use cases. Okay, so depending upon the use case, the web framework, the scripting language, database, everything will be selected depending upon the use case, friends. Please understand. Okay, at sometimes Java and Spring framework will be suitable for some use cases like banking and big corporations. So Java Spring framework they will use. Okay, so that is a use case. And some PHP, Laravel, Coordinator, these are also a famous backend scripting languages. And in fact PHP is powered entire 80% of the web, friends. Okay, so that much power it has, PHP. but its use case is from small industries to medium scale industries. PHP is powering, right? And when coming to the Django, and there is one more contender, Node.js, right? So it is also very powerful web development, modern web development. So day by day, its craze is also increasing, friends, and it is an event-driven system, right? Node.js. So people are also using those frameworks. So front end and back end total stack will consist of one programming language, that is called what? Famous JavaScript. Okay, so at the front end scripting and the back end scripting of the web page, one programming language is enough. If developer knows JavaScript programming language, that's it, it's enough to build entire website, back end programming, front end programming, everything. Okay, so that is the advantage. And use case also, they have their own use cases. But when coming to the Django, so Django frameworks is very secure and it has its own use cases. To deploy the machine learning models, data science models, artificial intelligence, all those trending technologies, we need Python web frameworks, friends. Okay, so in the other frameworks also we can deploy, but we need some other applications, APIs. Okay, so but with Flask or Django, Flask means it's another web framework of Python only. So Django, this type of Python based frameworks is very much easy to deploy the machine learning models. So that's why Django use case is in that side, right? So if you are a developer from Python ecosystem, then Django is very relevant, friends. We must learn web framework, and its popularity is increasing day by day because of the machine learning hype, data science hype. Okay, so that is the reason we are dealing this subject. So it's exceedingly scalable. That means scalable means its ability to scale, also its ability to adjust itself for heaviest traffic demands, right? Some of the busiest sites on the planet use Django's ability to quickly and flexibly scale to meet heaviest traffic demands. So this is another reason you can choose Django, friends. So it's exceedingly scalable and incredibly versatile. So these words are very special and fantastic words. Incredibly versatile, all are adjectives, right? So companies, I took all these words from the Django official documentation. Okay, so these are good. At the time of preparing the material for Django, I took these from the Django documentation. Django document is very fantastic, friends. So if you have patience, just you can open Django documentation and learn, and you can most of the use cases will be given in the documentation itself. It's a very beautiful documentation Django has. Okay, so incredibly versatile means companies, organizations and governments have used Django to build all sorts of things, from content management systems to social networkings to the scientific computing platforms, right? So this is that much of versatile. So many companies, organizations, governments, different use cases like CMS systems. CMS means content management systems, or social networks, or scientific computing platforms. All different use cases Django will suit. But even now, content management systems, people will go for PHP and WordPress. WordPress is another major contender of CMS, content management systems. So the WordPress alone is powering 33% of web, friends. Okay, so imagine the power of PHP and WordPress. WordPress is entirely built on PHP core. Okay, so even though PHP is powering, but Django is also suited for CMS and social networks also it can handle, and scientific computing platforms. Now mostly Django is using for scientific computing platforms, even though it is used for other purposes also, but Django is top in for deploying scientific computing, right? So these are the some of the reasons, and we will see some more reasons why a developer or a client or a company choose web framework Django as their backend web framework. So ORM support means object relational mapping. So object relation mapping, what is this word is all about? Okay, so let us discuss about it. So for any backend programming or web page development, so that website should take the user data, okay, and then it has to store in the database, right? And it has to store so many products, details, company news, customer details, product details, financial details, all those things in a database, right? And so in that area database is relevant. Okay, now scripting language is also relevant. We will write program to communicate with the database and get the things done and display the data into the front end part of the web page. That is also okay, but see, some developers will use MySQL as their database. So let me read it and then I will explain. Django provides a bridge between the data model and database engine and supports a large set of database systems including MySQL, Oracle, Postgres, NoSQL. So it's what is ORM means. It's just a mediator between scripting language and the database. Okay, what it will do is MySQL has its own code of interacting with the database, right? So for selecting any tables or for storing data into a table, insert into, or for selecting something, select from so and so table, like that, it has its own syntax. MySQL has, and Oracle database has its own syntax. Postgres has its own syntax, and NoSQL databases like MongoDB, all Cassandra, all those database has their own syntaxes, right? So syntaxes are different for different database. Okay. Now, if there is a MySQL developer is there. Okay. So what if a company decides and move to the Oracle database? So in that case, imagine if you want to change all the code to the Oracle, how much syntax will be changed to the Oracle? Even though the action is same, you need to write the code in the Oracle syntax, in the Oracle, with the Oracle database keywords, right? So if you change from MySQL to Oracle, then how much code you need to change? So imagine that if your site is if your client is very big and like an Amazon or Flipkart or so that's online shopping, e-commerce kind of things, so then you can imagine how much code developer need to write, need to change, right? And for Oracle, or it is applicable to all the databases, friends. So keeping that point in view, the ORM comes into picture. That means the smartness of ORM is simple, friends. So this is a mediator between all the databases. It may be a MySQL or Oracle or Postgres or NoSQL. So it acts as a front end, a layer between different databases to the programming language. So if we write uh, our code in ORM instead of native database, okay, so ORM encourages us to write our database code in the ORM syntax. Okay, so what it does is it will internally convert that ORM database code into corresponding database in use. Okay, that database may be MySQL, that database may be Oracle, that may be Postgres, or that database may be NoSQL. So any database and the back end, but ORM language is only one. Okay, so that is the advantage. So if developer knows the ORM, that's it. So he doesn't necessarily need to know the MySQL syntax or Oracle or Postgres or NoSQL. So if he knows the ORM, then he will simply write his database code in ORM. That's it. Internally, that ORM will convert that code into MySQL if the website uses the MySQL as its database, or the same ORM code itself will also be converted into Oracle if you use Oracle as your database. So that much of flexibility is there. That is the concept of ORM, friends. Okay, so this is some introductory class only. This ORM topic is big. We will discuss as the time comes, as we progress, friends. So in Python we have ORM, and ORM tools are there. In Java's ecosystem also there are some Hibernate. Okay, so Hibernate is also there. So many ORMs are there in all the ecosystems, right? So ORM concept is that friends, it provides a flexibility and ease of writing database code. No matter what database you are using, internally it will convert. Next, multilingual support. Multilingual support is also important. Why? Because if your site is viewing across so many regions whose languages are different, and somebody is wanting your website to be viewed in their local language, let's say Chinese, okay, then what you need to do, what you should do. So if there is lacking of multilingual support for a web framework, you need to change all those fonts, all these cumbersome tasks will be there. Okay, so that's why multilingual support is very relevant. If your website is website target audience has spread across the world, who is residing in different parts of the world, then you need to make your website as a multilingual support enabled website, right? Then your audience will see the websites in their relevant languages like English, Chinese, Korea, like that, right? So Django provides that multilingual support, friends. And then framework support. The framework code support is Django has built-in support for Ajax. Ajax means in the front-end web development we already discussed this. Asynchronous JavaScript and XML. Okay, some parts of the web page will be updated without refreshing the main page. That is the concept of Ajax. And then RSS, feeds, caching, various other frameworks supports are also there, friends. RSS means really simple syndication. And admin interface support. Very cool thing about Django framework is it provides a built-in admin support, friends. Very fantastic interface is there for managing databases, all those things. One graphical admin interface Java Django provides. Okay, so So this admin interface is lacking in some other web frameworks like Express, and I don't know about the new versions, but till now I don't think that Django like admin interface is available in the other frameworks. Right. So, and then built-in web server support. Built-in web server support is common in almost every web frameworks, or Laravel or Express. All are having the built-in web server support. So this built-in web server support is needed to test our developed web pages, right? So you constructed a web page and you wrote the backend scripting with the database code also. Then if you want to test your web page before deploying it into the public, so you need to do some setup locally, and then you need to deploy your site first in the local server, and then in another computer you need to connect to the server and then access the site. So this much of blah blah blah, all these things you should do, right? If there is no built-in web server support for you, what you need to do? You need to do all the things which I had just now told, right? You take separate system and you format the hard disk, and you can load Linux or whatever OS you want. First, generally deploying means Linux developers will go for Linux only. Okay, you can load Linux, whichever flavor you want. That means Ubuntu or CentOS or Red Hat or some platform you need to deploy. So first you need to install Linux, and then Apache server, and then what? So in the Apache server you need to deploy your Django framework, and then you will take the other computer and connect to that network. So all these things should be done, right, if there is no built-in server. So the web framework, this Django web framework, is providing that built-in web server support also. So in the web framework itself, okay, you no need to go externally and install the Apache server or any other INX or any other server. Okay, so some built-in web server will be come with Django itself. When you install Django into your system, that built-in support, web server support will also come. You can up the built-in server and you can test the web page with that server. Okay, so that is called the lightweight web server to facilitate end-to-end application development and testing, friends. Okay, so these are the reasons why a client or developer or a company can choose Django as their web framework for their web development project, friends. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, some 10 reasons I had mentioned, and still there might be some other reasons also, but these reasons are very important and relevant reasons why we need to use Django for our web development project, friends. Okay, so in the next class we will discuss the setup part, how part. So first class, what is Django, is completed, and in this class why you need to use Django, that was completed, and in from the next classes we will use how. Okay, how part. So how part is meaningless if you don't know what and why. So it is applicable to any field, friends. So how is nothing. If it is not important to you, how doesn't make any sense. So you need to know what and why before going to how. So if you don't know what and why, then even knowing how is not that much relevant to you. Okay, so important what and why you need this. If it is beneficial to you or somebody out there, then you can go for the next step called how. Okay, so first you need to get clarity in what and why concepts, then the how concepts will come. Okay, okay friends, till then, bye bye. It was Vida signing off. Thank you for listening.